You go. Hi, friends. Doc South here, and another Chester memory for you. Yeah. I think most of you know that, of course, I've worked as a DJ, either DJing dances. I've been on the radio a bit, like that. I had an internet radio station for a number of years. Just got out of that about a year ago, I think, and I've been doing these videos ever since. But because besides music, one thing I dearly love is telling stories ad nauseum, I guess, but I do love telling them. And I found that at YouTube you can do that kind of thing. Well, that's what we're doing now. And but music, yeah, always a true love of mine. I could never really play it. Singing, I guess I sing okay, but pretty much in the bathtub. Who wants to see me? The curtains open and there I am in the tub. Yeah, belting one out. I just, yeah, it probably wouldn't work. Probably wouldn't work. But I'm so scrawny. Yeah, it wouldn't be much of a show. But still, what I was going to say was there was one concert I saw, and I've seen many good ones, been part of a few that I've liked, MC'd or what have you. But one of the best concerts I ever saw, bar none, was the first concert I saw. Yes, and now we're not talking to kindergarten singing, Christmas carols or something on stage, and we all had to go watch that or something, to that effect. But no, this was, well, it turns out that at the Chester Public School, when I was in seventh or eighth grade, it was one of those grades, many of our teachers were nuts about jazz, to the point that some of them actually could play it rather well. Now, I don't know all the names, but I believe our English teacher, and so forgive me if I'm wrong, and I might have details off a little here. Mr. Radish, I think it was, Mr. Radish, played saxophone. In fact, I remember him trying to teach me to play the saxophone. He had an awful time. But yeah, I'm honking, honk, 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 But he was very good at it, very good. We had a teacher that could play trumpet. I want to say it was Mr. McDougall. I might be wrong, but I think it was him. I think there was a sixth grade teacher, I think that played, a brass instrument. Just which I don't know. There was also our music teacher, Mr. Krinsky. Mr. Krinsky, Mr. Krinsky was also a trumpeter. And somehow or another, they knew of this group in New York City that played all the clubs in New York called the Snub Mosley Trio. The Snub Mosley Trio, and they invited them up to do a jazz concert, and our teachers were going to join in. This is the first time, when you're a kid, you just picture the teacher being someone who's sitting behind a desk screaming at you and giving you F's or demerits or what have you. But no, it turns out, much to my surprise, the teachers actually have a life. Yeah, and outside of the school. And I assume these guys used to go into New York and play. I don't know, but boy, I know at the concert they certainly were good enough to be in the clubs. They were fantastic musicians. It absolutely grew my admiration for teachers like 8,000%. I just couldn't believe it. I figured all they did was grade papers and scream at us in class, like I said. But no, they actually had talent. Well, anyway, the night of the big concert comes, and we had a brand new gymnasium. It was kind of echoey, but if you filled it with enough people, the echo went away. This is usually where we would have a dance or something, or do our gym stuff, basketball games with other schools and like that. But they had a stage. And all us kids were there. Many of the people from town came. I don't know if they sold tickets for it or if it was a free thing. I don't know. Well, it probably had to pay something to get in because the Snub Mosley Trio, had to get paid, if nothing else. And, well, anyway, the curtains open and there's our teachers with these three guys. Snub Mosley, who's oh gosh, he looked kind of like Louis Armstrong. I'm sorry, and there was some other guy playing maybe he was playing piano. He didn't look too far different from Fats Waller, for crying out loud. And there was a drummer that just grinned, big old grin on his face, pounding on the drums, and of course there's our teachers, and they one and a two and a bang, and they just hit us right between the eyes with these great jazz up-tempo numbers like Dixieland stuff, and Snubs, when the song's over, Snubs, I hope you like that. You hardly understand what he's saying. And, he's doing that jazz talk stuff. And we got another one for you. I think you'll like, oh, yeah. And come on, boys, let's roll. And gosh, they're dancing around on the stage. It was absolutely mind-blowing. And you know what happened? What eventually happened was, especially as they got towards the end of the concert, it just got hotter and hotter as far as the music went. They were really rolling. And kids were in the aisles dancing. Teachers were dancing. I'm there, my gosh, there's one of the English teachers from fourth grade, or one of the fourth grade teachers is bopping around with the gym teacher, and everybody's jitterbugging and stuff. And I'm just sitting there looking. Oh, my God. There's the girl who's going to be the class valedictorian. Sharon, I think was her name. She's jitterbugging with the principal. It was just, you just couldn't believe it. And it was in Chester. You thought we were in, at Carnegie Hall. We could have been. It was that good. And everybody, oh my heavens, and loud. Oh my gosh, the music's just pounding. How many times when I played records at a dance or something, hey, turn it down a little, it's a little loud. Yeah, but you didn't tell that to Snub, not him and his crew. Oh my God, was it wild. And I mean, really, you see your teachers on their knees playing saxophone, and it was just, dancing around. It was just absolutely the wildest thing. When it was over, we're giving them this screaming applause. We just couldn't believe it. Just couldn't believe it. And I think they were wearing shades. I don't know, maybe not, but berets and things. And it was just, I know next day at school, we just, they're back to, the theorem that you're to study today is the biological thing, and all of a sudden it's a big blur. We're just remembering the jazz. I think we had to write an essay. Oh, and those essays were hip. That's all I can say. It was really cool. They were, I swear it was a great school. And we had a time. That was one, and honestly, it was a long time before I saw a concert was much better. The next concert that topped it was a concert I saw out at college, Ohio University, where they had Bo Diddley, Paul Revere and the Raiders, the We Five, the Byrds. Yeah, that would have been a hard one to top, especially with Paul Revere and the Raiders closing. Oh my God. So, but there you go. Chester, for the longest time, held the record as the best concert in my book. Indeed it did. God. Oh, high school was greasy kid stuff compared to what we saw that night. Yes. Anyway, I thought I'd say. We'll see you later, friends. Thank you. And God bless. Bye now.